Alright, Apple straight up ignored iPad users with the new update. Rather, they did not even mention many new features of iPadOS 27 and pretty much spent the entire WWDC event talking about the new Siri AI. So today we'll be going through 12 of the best hidden features of iPadOS 27. The stuff Apple never properly showed to you, as I often use my iPad as my primary computer, and some of the new features really improved my workflow. I'm Prithwiraj and let's dive right in. I have reviewed a lot of tablets on this channel, and Apple has finally brought the feature that I really wanted badly on my iPad. Visual intelligence. And this is basically Apple's take on circle to search. Android users have had this for a couple of years now. Just take a screenshot and circle whatever you want to know more about. And circling stuff with the Apple Pencil just makes sense. So the other day I was watching a video and saw someone wearing a jacket that I really liked. All I had to do was swipe diagonally with my Apple Pencil from the bottom left corner and just selected the jacket. It instantly found me similar options that I could actually buy. Similarly, my mom had sent me a photo of some random plant for my desk setup, and I was able to find more info about that real quick. This thing simply gets you hooked. It may sound like a small upgrade, but once you get used to circling stuff instead of typing brown leather jacket on Amazon or Google, you are never gonna go back. Next up is one of those features Apple didn't say a single word on stage, and it's really funny because I have used this more than anything else on this list. You can now save a video frame as an actual photo, so I know when I'm filming a video, I don't have to screenshot that perfect moment for my thumbnail, and that too at the shittiest quality possible. So now we can simply open the video, pause at the exact moment you want, tap on the three dots, and there will be this option called save video frame as a photo. And the best part is that it saves your photo at full resolution, hence I'm getting a proper high-res thumbnail photo and not some compressed screenshot with black bars around it. Simple upgrade, but you can feel the difference. Come on Apple, it at least deserved a subtle mention. And speaking of photos, the next feature was mentioned by Apple at WWDC, but only for the iPhone. So I would love to share it here because it's really cool. No other reason. The Photos app got 3 proper AI editing tools this year. We get 3 of them. First is cleanup. You can now remove big objects like people, cars, and even your ex from your photo. And then it rebuilds the entire background. This has really been convenient for me as I no longer have to open Lightroom for getting this done. Next is extend, which widens your photo beyond the original frame and will fill out the edges. I tried this on my shot where I had this beautiful hotel cut off from my background, and then it rebuilt the rest of it super accurately. And lastly, reframe. It lets you shift your photo's perspective after it's taken. You just have to drag the photo around and it shifts the perspective, and the AI will fill whatever falls outside the frame. The results can often vary, but it surely is gonna improve over time. And by the way, we haven't reached the good stuff yet. Multitasking has improved, and that's the sole reason I was able to replace my desktop setup with my iPad. You might know that Apple Notes is simply amazing, so this is for someone who loves writing on their iPad. Apple Notes can finally handle Markdown properly. Until last year, if you copied a Markdown text from anywhere and pasted into your notes, you got an ugly wall of asterisks and hashtags. But now, it just converts it on its own. When you paste anything, the headings come off as headings, the bold is actually bold, and the links thankfully work, and it of course goes other way around. They have also added this divider lines. This feature makes it less painful for me when I'm moving across multiple segments of my scripts. I can now draft everything in notes and paste it into rest of my workflow. For a free built-in app, that's really a big deal. Okay, so the next one might sound a bit boring, but stay with me here because it secretly powers the next 2 features. But before that, we are very close to hitting 200k subscribers on this channel, so I would really appreciate if you could consider hitting that subscribe button, as I have a lot of videos on the iPad lined up which you're gonna find really interesting. Apple has rebuilt the entire search index on the iPad, so when you update to the iPadOS 27, your iPad will quietly index everything, your mails, messages, files, or even handwritten notes. But a fair warning, this process will take quite a while. My battery took a small hit after a day or 2, although once it's done, the search stops being a keyword matcher and starts being actually smart. In short, we are getting an improved Spotlight search which is powered by Siri AI. I can simply ask stuff like the restaurant a friend of mine mentioned, and it will track that down for me. This thing alone made me stop digging through folders, and like I said, this index is exactly what makes the next 2 features possible. Now coming into the elephant in the room, Siri app. Apple basically spent the entire time hyping the new Siri AI app, but it has a really cool feature for the iPad. Before we get into that, let me quickly summarize what's new with Siri. As Siri is now an actual chatbot, just like ChatGPT or Claude. Also, for the first time, it gets its own app. All your past conversations are laid out as cards, and you can pin the ones you keep coming back to. I can search through them, type or talk, just like other AI chatbots, and your conversation will sync across all your devices. So I can start something on my iPhone and continue it on my iPad or on my MacBook. The fact that Siri finally has a memory, that thing completely changes how much I actually use it. Which brings brings me to the feature that got the biggest reaction out of me, and that is the on-screen awareness. Siri can now see what's on your screen and do things with it. Mind you, not just describe it, but actually act on it. I had a messy note open after an important call, just bullet points and some half sentences. All I had to do was turn the action items from this note into my reminders, and it picked out the actual task and built up my to-do list. Those 10 minutes of admin job just cut a slack. It does the same thing with your dinner plan emails, or rather your flight confirmations. The event just shows up exactly with the right time, date and place without you copying a single thing. Also, when I'm reading a long article on Substack or Medium, Siri answers my questions based on what's in front of me. The whole trick is to stop you from moving information between apps. The iPad just handles it real smooth. So out of everything in this video, this one truly made me feel like the iPad jumped an entire generation. Shortcuts is up next, and it of course got screen time in WWDC. So why am I featuring it here? Well, I want to share a neat little trick that helped me make the most out of it. As you might know, we can now describe an automation in plain English, and it will build the shortcut for you. As I mentioned, I often use my iPad as my primary computer, so for which I randomly type something like, when I connect my Magic Keyboard, switch to windowed apps, and when I take the iPad off, go back to full screen. Next minute, I had a working shortcut for that. So attaching or detaching your Magic Keyboard can now kick off an automation. Not bad to see my iPad literally changes its personality. And the funny part is that I am not even using the official Apple Magic Keyboard because it's kind of expensive. This is gonna work with any Bluetooth keyboard rather. I know shortcuts might feel a bit nerdy, but this is the version where you don't have to be a nerd anymore. Alright, so let's now get into the multitasking feature finally. This one is super helpful when I use my iPad as my primary computer. Thankfully, the Stage Manager no longer has that 4-app limit, so you can now stack as many windows you want, which basically takes your iPad one step closer to your MacBook. iPadOS 26 gave us the new windowing system, and that was genuinely a big step, but it always had this slight stutter to it, and the overall experience was not really smooth, hence I had initially turned everything off completely. But here on iPadOS 27, it just cleans all of that. Now dragging, resizing and switching feels faster and smoother, and this isn't one of those updates where things feel quicker as everything is new. It is actually faster. Apple has rebuilt the CPU scheduler, and it applies to every updated iPad, so even older iPads will feel much snappier now. I could easily feel that moving things around in the Files app, which is up to 5 times faster. Even the external monitor support got some love. The control center now works on the monitor itself instead of kicking back on your iPad screen. The iPad now simply feels like a polished multitasking machine. With the iPadOS 26, we got that Mac style menu bar on the iPad, but it played hide and seek, and I found that to be real annoying. But iPadOS 27 finally lets me access it at all times. The menu bar just stays there permanently, just like on a Mac. The status bar shows you the name of the app you're on. Although where this really pays off is in heavier apps. I've been editing my videos on my iPad using DaVinci Resolve. With the actual menus, I have legit stopped hunting through touch panels for these basic stuff. Again, this really sounds small, but it just makes the iPad built for handling heavy-duty tasks. Alright, since we are closer to the end, I have included this one for the AirPods crowd. And there are two things Apple has cooked. Firstly, Apple redesigned the whole AirPods settings area. So when your AirPods are connected, they show up in this clean panel right at the top of the settings. So you don't have to dig through the Bluetooth menus for anything anymore. The second one is big. AirPods finally have custom EQ. For the entire life of the AirPods, the default sound was whatever Apple decided to be. The adaptive EQ tuned things automatically, and we had zero say in that. Whereas now there are actual sliders for lows, mids and the highs. Being a music producer myself, I love this update so much. So whenever I'm researching or listening to a podcast, I just drop the lows so the voice comes through cleaner. Then I simply bump them back up while I'm working out in the gym, and it only takes a few seconds. Heads up though, the new AirPods Max 2 just dropped, and I can't really wait to try that feature out there. We'll be dropping my experience using them soon, so please stay tuned. But if you already have a pair of AirPods, this is the first time your AirPods will sound the way you exactly want them to be. And finally, Apple did mention the last feature on Keynote, but I had to add this feature in this video because I've been waiting for this feature for so long. Apple being Apple, it took them a couple of decades and we are finally here. Ever since the very first iPhone, your alarm, ringtone and your notification volume all stayed the same, and they have been chained to one single slider. But they are finally separate. Now I can finally reduce the volume of my ringtone, and it won't reduce my alarms or my notification volumes. Almost 20 years of us being stuck on this loop, iPadOS 27 and iOS 27 just fixed this. So my alarms stay loud, my notifications stay quiet along with those weird keyboard clicks. So if you're an Android user, you must be laughing at this right now, and fair enough. Android has had this forever, but now it's done, finally done. And this alone might be the single most useful thing in this entire update, as this is something that will help every single kind of user. And that's all about the iPadOS 27, at least the parts Apple didn't bother to mention. I have recently covered using my iPad as my primary computer. If you would be interested in that, then click here on this video, and over there I have shared how I replaced my desktop setup with this iPad. See you there.